What's happening, people? My name is Robbie and today we are reacting to Inside a $45 million Billionaires Row New York City Penthouse by Ryan Serhant. Presume Ryan Serhant is selling this because he is an estate agent, real estate broker. I think those are the same thing in America and Britain, just different names. I'm obsessed with New York. I don't really know why. Ever since I went in 2019, I've been absolutely obsessed with the place. So I love seeing these apartment tours. I love seeing anything to do with New York, Casey Neistat's videos. I love all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the inside of a $45 million apartment looks like in New York. Quite the considerable sum compared to my 3-bedroom house in Scotland. So let's get straight into it.
This is a $45 million bathtub. Actually, turn around, show them what my view is right now. How insane is that view?
Look how tall those buildings are. Obviously New York is known for its tall buildings, but look at the actual size of those 3 buildings. And look how skinny they are. I don't think I would want to be in any of those buildings, let alone live in them. Obviously, the way that these buildings are designed is they aren't going to blow over, they aren't going to snap in half, but it looks like they might, and I don't like that. So for $45 million, honestly, I'd probably spend that on like a mansion near New York if I lived there. Overspending it on an apartment that is so high up in such a narrow building that I would feel like it was going to collapse. It's too tall. It's too f***ing tall.
I'm gonna take off my shoes, right? No shoes allowed in apartments like this. This, boom. This apartment is 5 beds.
Is he wearing Nike dry fit socks with a suit? Interesting.
5 bathrooms, almost 6,300 square feet. It's the entire 88th floor of the original Billionaires Row Tower in New York City. This is 157 West 57th Street, but like this detail here with like the dragons, everything like just wild. And then, these are big doors. This is your 60-foot wide grand salon.
Look at the views.
Nuts. So to give you in context of where we are, this is Billionaires Row. That's 111 West 57th Street. That's 432 Park, okay? We're also looking down. You've got the Chrysler building there, right? All the new towers. 520 Park, oh, the exposure's kind of brutal. That's what I have Diego for. And then this is your view.
That's an insane view. I mean, for 45 million, you would expect an insane view, but that's crazy.
But this is your grand salon. 60 feet. 60 feet from window to window. Like, this is massive. Like, there's so much you could do in this space. These ceilings, these columns, and this is what holds this building up, okay? Here in this building, these columns are pure cement. Like,
Oh, those are real columns rather than just for decoration or have steel inside them and then they're just plaster. They're actual real columns.
like they're huge. These columns, you'll see them right in this room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they kind of anchor the entire building through. They balance the weight of the tower. And then you have these floor breaks so that as the wind hits a tower that's this high, and this building is just over 1,000 feet high, okay? As the wind hits it, the building can move with the wind. But something that's really, really interesting, and people ask me this all the time, about towers that are this big, is New York has something that's really, really unique to it, okay? Like you couldn't build a 1,000-foot tower in the middle of New Jersey, right? You couldn't.
You couldn't build one in Edinburgh, that's for sure.
The ground is too soft. There'd be nothing to anchor it into. New York City, as tiny as it is, I mean, look how small it is, right? As tiny as New York City is, as much of a rock as it is, that's why they call this a rock, this island, because it is rock. New York City has bedrock. And so when you're building these towers, you dig down, you do what's called these pilings, and then you tie the building into the bedrock. So all of the bedrock of the earth is then holding up, basically, relatively compared to the earth, this little building. So the building seems really tall and scary, and oh my God, that thing is so high. Central Park Towers right here, 220 Central Park South. These buildings are so tall, how do they stand up? Imagine if, someone was holding your feet and someone came to push you over. You wouldn't fall over like this because someone would hold your feet, but you would definitely fall over, okay? That's anywhere else. In New York City, it's like there are 15 people gripping and holding on to your legs beneath your knees, and then the tower is built on top. Someone tries to push you over, you're like...
So how deep does that go then? How deep are the foundations for a building that size? I don't know what the normal foundations of a building would be, so I don't know what deep foundations would be, but how deep do you need to dig down before you build a building that tall? I wonder.
You know what else is an interesting fact about these apartments? Is the carrying cost. Now this is $45 million. The monthly cost to carry this is about $25,000 a month, and that's not a mortgage. That's
25 grand a month. Is that just like the service charge for the building? For the, I don't know, pool, the gym and all the things that are in the building? The insurance and stuff that comes under it as well. 25 grand a month. What's that a year? 3 million a year? Is that right? No, 300,000 a year, sorry. Yeah, 300,000 a year. It's a lot of money.
just the cost to be here. That is your monthly charges to the building, and that's your monthly real estate taxes. Just FYI. 60 feet, grand salon, 2 chandeliers, amazing dining space. I mean, if you lived here, you would also, you could have more fun. There's a lot of things you could do. It's a big open space. This huge gallery. Can you show this? Like how big this is? Hold on, don't move. Oh, I'm still running. Oh God, I'm still running. Oy.
Look at the posture of that run. That's definitely the run of a man wearing a suit. He thinks he can run because he's wearing Nike socks, but he's still wearing a suit.
Can you see me? You can? It's pretty long. It's pretty great. You got this whole art wall for hanging art this way, and these are cool because this way you don't actually have any holes that are in the wall, right? The art just hangs, and you can always detach those because you don't want to have any holes in the walls. But let's go into the kitchen. You have another pocket door, and then this is your whole eat-in kitchen. Zebra wood on zebra wood on zebra.
Eating kitchen. Eating kitchen. Most kitchens are eating kitchens, except from the small kitchens in small apartments, flats, that don't have enough room to eat in. For $45 million, I don't think it needs to be specified that it is an eating kitchen.
Wood with a lacquer finish. And this is cool, like this is all storage here, but they've got
I don't like that. I don't like those cupboard doors. I mean, it doesn't matter that I don't like it because I won't be buying the place, but I don't know. It looks a little, it's just not my style.
fun little details. Like this way, when you're spending this amount of money, right, you don't want to actually see bar stools. So this cabinet is a bar stool. Details. It's all in the details.
That's cool. Makes the place look a lot more tidy and uncluttered.
It's amazing. And then you've got these huge views. To give you context for pricing, like this is asking $45 million, right? The penthouse at 15 Central Park West 10 years ago sold for $88 million. Different brand.
Oh shit. I don't want to use the word bargain, but in comparison, that's a bargain.
Building, 15 CPW. The penthouse there of 220 Central Park South, that building, just sold to the owner of the Brooklyn Nets and one of the founders of Alibaba, I think, Josiah, for $200 million. And by the time you watch this, I will have listed the penthouse of Central Park Tower, the highest residential home on the planet, for $250 million. So,
$250 million, that's stupid. Hopefully he makes a video though, because I will be reacting to that one.
$45 million, it's like $45, right? This is an amazing value for this penthouse on the direct runway of Central Park. Like I'm sitting here, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm sitting here and I've got the Central Park views. You've got your wine cooler, all your extra pantry space, storage space.
The doors, I don't like the doors. They're too shiny. I think that's what it is. I just think they look too shiny. I don't know, I just don't like them.
Huge freezer. Oh God. Look how much food's in here.
You don't need food in your freezer because you do not cook, unless it's a hobby. If you can afford a $45 million apartment, unless you like cooking, you don't cook. You have a chef or you order in.
Room for your food. Huge refrigerator, look how much food's in here. Yep. In New York City, you eat out a lot. A full Miele suite.
Told you.
So you get your microwave, your oven, and your warming drawer. The warming drawer we don't talk about enough, but can we just talk about this for a second? I just got one of these in my own apartment. A warming drawer is so valuable. We use it all the time because you'll cook food, right? And then it's warm, and then it sits out and it's cold, and then you gotta reheat it up in the microwave. But a warming drawer literally just gets really warm. And then once you cook food, if your baby's not ready to eat it yet, or you're not home yet from work, you just put the food in here and, it stays warm. You would think...
Why don't you just use an oven on a low temperature? Technically, I have a warming drawer in my kitchen. It's called the oven.
That seems commonplace, but I think it's one of the best inventions ever. Keep food warm without having to reheat it and unheat it, reheat it, and anyway. Chef's kitchen, amazing cooktop, everything vents out. We've got 2 overhead hoods. Because this kitchen is so big, it's pretty amazing. And then we wrap all the way around. From here, we start to see all the bedrooms. Like I told you, there are 4 bedrooms plus the primary. And actually, to show you these, let's do something a little bit different. I'm gonna pretend I'm one of the people that could live in this apartment in each bedroom. Ready, set, go.
He says he's going to pretend he's one of the people who could live in this building. I would venture to guess that Ryan Serhant could probably afford to buy that apartment. Maybe a slight stretch, but him pretending that he can afford the place compared to me pretending I can afford the place is a vast difference. Look at the views of the river as well. Central Park, one direction. Hudson River, I think that one is, and the other direction. And then down the way to the Empire State Building and the World Trade Center and things like that. Can you see 360 degrees in this apartment? I wonder.
Now we are in the primary suite. This wallpaper is soft to the touch. It's very, very textured. Again, you just came home. You went to your living room, you went to the kitchen, you got your dinner, you went and checked on all your crazy kids, and now this is your sanctuary. It's now your home. And one of the things that I've always loved about this building, other than the views and location and the amenities, which are crazy, are these bathrooms. Now this primary bathroom, it's in the penthouse, has 2 sides, 2 sinks, 2 toilets, 2 everything.
That's a nice bathroom. That's a very, very nice bathroom, actually.
You meet in the middle with where we started, which is this insane bathtub that was craned above New York City to sit in this apartment. So as you see, the streets closed, right? Road closures, craziness everywhere. They had a crane that craned the bathtub 1,000 feet into the air to sit in this space, and I still don't think anyone's ever used it.
Look at the size of that bath. That's enormous.
But the view is cool, and it's beautiful, and it's awesome. So you've got both sides, tons of room for storage, even the shower right? I'm in the shower, I'm in here, and no one can see you, and look at this view.
That's pretty cool, having that big window at your shower that the building will be reflective on the outside. So no one can see in, but you can see out over the whole of New York while you're in the shower. That's cool. That's very cool.
I'm here, I'm taking a shower, and I'm looking at the entirety of Lower Manhattan. This is just... This is the whole view. I've got all of Hudson Yards, Statue of Liberty, Lower Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Verrazano Bridge. It's just nuts. I would take showers in here all day long, just because of how crazy this view is. I would totally lose track of time. You could watch the ball drop during Times Square from your shower, and then past all of your walk-in closets, because this again is all part of your $45 million primary suite. You've got this entire corner as your bedroom. All of Lower Manhattan. You're literally looking from the tip.
Take away the views. If the curtains are closed there, I feel like that room's a little bit underwhelming for $45 million. It's a massive room probably, and the views are spectacular, but the actual room itself is maybe just the way that it's been decorated, but the actual room itself seems a bit underwhelming for $45 million compared to the rest of the place.
Of Manhattan on the south side to the Adirondack Mountains in upstate New York, like you're directing air traffic. I'm literally watching airplanes right now. I'm watching airplanes going from JFK, I'm watching people landing over LaGuardia, and it's nuts. And your only direct neighbors who are like, oh, hey neighbor.
Oh wait, it's actually fucking huge.
How are you? Is also someone incredibly wealthy, because to be on that floor at 111 West 57th, right, is costing you $50 million. To be on that floor of 432 Park, it's costing you the same amount. Same thing for CP.
No one is surely buying this to live there though. I would guess that the person who buys this apartment or the apartments in the other buildings, they could be foreign billionaires, Chinese, Russian, American billionaires as well, I suppose, but they're buying them as investments. I've seen quite a lot of articles about apartments in London, New York, Miami, big cities, that the apartments just sit empty. They're just purchased as investments in the hopes of them obviously going up in value, but no one actually lives in them. They don't even rent them out sometimes. So if you did buy one of these apartments and move into it, you might not even have to worry about the neighbours across in the other buildings, because probably empty.
Central Park Tower, every direction I look at, the higher you get, the greater the wealth grows. And then I just like these pink couches. Kind of see it here a little bit. I've never actually been able to see in. Those windows right there, where you can kind of see that it's double height, right? Where there's no ceiling. Can you see that there's like no ceiling there, that it's just double height, glass on glass? That's Michael Dell's penthouse. He paid $100 million.
That would make me feel uncomfortable as Michael Dell. Someone can just sit in their bedroom in another building and just look straight into your apartment. You've spent all that money on an apartment and that's the privacy that you get. But again, Michael Dell probably doesn't live there.
Dollars for that. This is penthouse 88, just beneath the guy that invented Dell computers. $100 million.
It's in the same building, I've just realised.
Bucks for that. This is asking 45. This is your view out the front. That's your view from the back. And then this is where you end your day. Came home, I could watch the sunset, I could watch the sunrise. I could just actually dictate exactly where the sun is at any given time because it's right above me. And this is a great day because you get to live in a $45 million penthouse on top of Manhattan in one of the tallest buildings on the planet. So just dream and let me know in the comments if you love this tour, and we'll see you in the next one.
So that's pretty cool. $45 million penthouse suite. If I had $45 million, would I buy it? Probably not. But I think if you're buying an apartment like that, you don't have $45 million. You have $1 billion, a couple hundred mil, something like that. My only question about this video is, I wonder if he gets any sales through a video like that, or if he gets any inquiries about this specific apartment through that video. Obviously, a video like that builds his online presence. He will have people like me reacting to that video. It's probably chopped up to smaller clips on TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook. So his online presence off the back of the video will be big. But I wonder if anyone directly contacts him from that video saying, I'd like a viewing, I might buy that place. Someone who can afford it. I have read both of his books, and he has mentioned, I think it was in the books, maybe it was in a podcast, that he has sold an apartment through posting a YouTube video about it. He posted a tour of an apartment on YouTube and a teenager watched it, but it just so happened that the teenager had multi-millionaire parents who were in the market for a new house. Teenager said to their parents, look, here's a property that I've just found on YouTube, why don't you take a look? And he actually sold it. So maybe the video does generate sales, I don't know. I just feel like someone who buys a house of that stature isn't watching YouTube very often. Maybe I'm wrong. I probably am. But it would be interesting to know if he sells it for 45 million and if that sale comes from this YouTube video. I can never decide whether I prefer these videos showing you around mega mansions, insane apartments and things like that, or the videos by property investors telling you how they bought 4 apartments in a building and they rent for a couple grand and they make a nice return on it because I'm a geek. I think I do find the investment ones more appealing to me because I know that I'm not going to buy a $45 million apartment in New York. Even if I had the money, I don't think I would move to New York full time if I was a billionaire. But seeing a video of someone who has bought 2 flats in Glasgow for 200 grand total and they're renting them out for X amount each, that's more appealing to me because I know that's possible. Whereas $45 million apartment, it's not possible, it's not attainable, or not now anyway. I don't know, maybe I will be able to afford one day, probably not. Anyway folks, thank you as always for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, especially if you've made it this far. Big video next week. It is the portfolio update. People tend to like the portfolio updates, so that will be next week. Have my investments went up since July, hopefully because they took a big dip. So I'll see you next week for that. Take it easy.